Hello and welcome to the lesson 6 of our robots courses. So what we're going to be doing today is, last week we did if statements, but we're going to build on that today and talk about a really important concept when it comes to game design, and that is called debouncing or bouncing. Now, what I have here is this blue neon bridge is essentially a slow burn lava. So what should happen is it slowly hurts us as we're going across it. It's not going to kill you, but it will slowly reduce your health. But we should be able to get across there no problem and have most of our health left. Now, first of all, this is really good when you're putting it in obbies or maze games because it doesn't kill the player, but it forces them to move quite quickly. So this stops your players from standing around having a cup of tea and having a chat, essentially. So really, really useful. And we're going to learn how to spell that today. But there's a problem here. Now, if I run this here, and I will walk you through what debouncing actually is. Now, we should be able to get over the other side, no problem, but we get about halfway and then we die. The problem that is happening here with this is that the code to hurt us is running every time we touch it. Now, see, I've only just got on here now and I'm already down to, I've lost most of my health. Now, this should not happen. So I'm just going to show you what should happen, just so you can see the difference, and then we'll work out what we need to do. So that one can go, and this one can come back, and this is what should happen. So run across this now, and one. There we go. Now, what is happening here is essentially the code is firing too quickly, and that is every time we touch it, and that's called debouncing. It only really affects us in sort of game development because we need to take into account the 3D environment. So what we're going to do is we are going to build this out. I'm going to show you how to stop this. So I'm going to comment that out, and I'm going to add a new script to this. Now, with this project, it's easier to do with a bridge. So the very first thing you'll have to do is build out a little bridge like this, just so you can run on top of it. Just do it like this for the time being, and then we can edit it how we want and put it into games later. But this is just going to be a concept project, okay? Now, once you have your bridge, you want to go and put in a script. And because I have a few of them in here now, that one is, and this is why you should rename things. I'm going to call this one student because that is what I'm doing. I'm teaching students here. Right, now, again, good news. The vast amount of this is stuff that you've already done because we need to check that this is indeed a humanoid. So the very first thing I would like you to do is build out, get the variable, build a function, connect the variable to the function, and then check if they are a humanoid. You've done this a few times now, so that should not be a problem for you. So stop the video, build it out. No copy and pasting. I just want to get you into the habit of being able to write code and understand what it's doing. And now let us build this out together. So I'm going to call this one bridge because that's what it's doing. Script.parent. Then the function. So we'll just call this onTouch because that's what we're doing. We are touching something. And then we connect these two together. So, dear computer, when someone touches the bridge, we want to connect this to our onTouch. There, like that. Now, we need to check what if it's a humanoid. So we want to see what we need to save whatever's touching it into a parameter. So we don't know what the parameter is yet, so that's going to be called other parts. And now what we need to do is we need to check what's inside other parts. So let's make a variable called character equals other parts dot parent. And then we want to see if it's got a humanoid part. So create another variable called humanoid. Humanoid. That's going to be coming from the character. And then we want to see if we want to use that really long function, the find first child, which is and then in speech marks what we're looking for. So humanoid, there, like that. So find first child, which is humanoid. Brill. Every letter of the first word has to be a capital letter. Now, we need the if statement just to check if humanoid exists. Brill. Then what we're going to do is we are just going to reduce the humanoid's health by 10 each time we touch it. So we're going to say humanoid, because that's where the health lives, dot health equals humanoid dot health minus 10. And what that should do is that will then take our humanoid's health, the current health, whatever it is, and then take 10 from that. Okay, and that was how we would do that. So if it starts at 100, minus 10 would give us 90. Second time this runs, that would be 90 minus 10, that would be 80, and so on and so forth. In fact, I'm going to put in a little print statement here just so we can see what's happening here. So I'm going to say this is the health, and then I'm going to connect that. So 2 dots here, and then humanoid dot health. Oh, health, like that. Now, what the 2 dots does is this will essentially stick it onto the end of this sentence. We can't do this. We cannot do this inside the speech marks because that will then turn it into the sentence itself. This will allow the sentence to be more dynamic. So I'll pop that in there just so we can see the health happening. Now, let us play from here. And what should happen is we have that same problem. So it's firing too much and we're dying too quickly. So let's have a quick look, because we want to test things that are working first. So, damn it. Oh, right, that died. And the health didn't come up. Why didn't the health come up? Oh, it did. There we go. There we go. Right, now that is working. So, how do we fix this? Well, we have to make another if statement here. What we have to do is we have to essentially make a switch to turn our bridge on and off, to start it hurting our player, then stop it hurting our player. So how we do that is we actually going to make another variable here. And we're going to call this enabled. So local enable, I'm going to call it better. I'm going to call that, yeah, enabled do. Enable. And this is going to be set to true, if I can spell, which I cannot. And this is going to be set to true. And what this means is whenever we want the bridge to hurt our player, this is going to be set to true. When we don't want it to hurt the player, this will be set to false. So what we do now is inside our humanoid if statement, we make another if statement. So we say if enabled is equals, so is the same as true, then do something. And what we want to do is, first of all, we're going to stick this inside our if statement. So that is going to go in there, and then we can get rid of this bit here. Now, there's a few more things we need to add into here. The very first thing we're going to do is we are going to turn enable off. So we're going to say enabled equals So is a, and then false. Okay? Because if enabled is true, that's when this is going to run again. So that's when our player's health is going to be reduced by 10. So the first thing we're going to do is set this to false. So this if statement can never be true whilst being hurt, and that's going to massively slow it down. Now the next thing that we're going to need to do is we're just going to wait for 2 seconds, 1 second, however quickly you want to hurt the player. I'm just going to do 2 seconds here. And then finally, last but not least, we just need to say enabled equals true. So turn it back on. So player gets hurt, wait 2 seconds, and then the player can be hurt again. Now let's test this, see if it's working. Grill, right, so 1, 2, there we go, it's working. Fantastic. Right, so what we are going to do in the next class, can I reach them from here? Yep, I can. Next class, I'm going to show you 2 really fun projects. So the first one is going to be the size increase, which is great fun. And the second one, if I can reach it from here, no, maybe it's this one. Yeah, is the speed increase. So these also cover the debounce topics. So tune into the next lessons and I will show you those. And I'll see you soon.